G'day geeks, Chris here, and this is a December update video. I've been up to all manner of things during December. Obviously for a lot of us it's a very festive Christmas focused season, a lot of social engagements and sales and all that kind of thing. I take it as an opportunity to wear one of my favourite shirts. This is my Star Wars Christmas shirt, which I happily wear to the office on casual Fridays in December. But I've taken the opportunity to make most of all the sales that have been happening around this time, and I've bought a whole bunch of things, comics and books and action figures of course. So let's look at what I've been up to in December and the stuff I've bought in December. Let's go. Firstly, let's talk movies. There's been a lot of big movies released this year. I guess Superman and Fantastic Four are probably a couple of the bigger ones, which I enjoyed both. The original 1978 Superman is still my favourite film, but yes, I did enjoy the new James Gunn one, even though it was a bit silly at times. I also watched Predator Badlands, which was great. I really enjoyed that, and this is where I picked up this Tron Ares popcorn bucket for only $10. Was the last one left. I did enjoy Tron Ares, but certainly liked Tron Legacy a lot more. We actually don't get a lot of popcorn buckets and all the fancy ones here in Australia, unfortunately. This is pretty much all we get, just the simple ones. But yes, at least I can put that in my Tron display. Also picked up a couple of these movies, which are absolutely classics. So Labyrinth and Neverending Story, two classic 1980s fantasy films. Just got new Blu-ray 4K Ultra HD releases. So this is from Shout Factory with a bunch of bonus features, and this is from Imprint with a bunch of bonus features as well. So these are two classic films from the 80s. But yeah, certainly a big year for films and TV series. Stranger Things, obviously, season 5, the final season. It's going to be sad to farewell that. It's been going for 10 years. What else has been happening? Naked Gun, that was a good film, the new one. Weapons, that was certainly a creepy film. I watched Wick is Pain, which is a documentary on the John Wick films. That was really good. I also watched The Long Walk, based on the Stephen King story, and the last Wake Up Dead Man, the last Benoit Blanc film directed by Ryan Johnson. So yes, there's quite a lot of good films this year. So there we go, a couple of Blu-rays and UHDs and a Tron popcorn bucket. Talking about fantasy films, this is very much inspired by that, so moving from movies to books now. This is The Shadow Glass, so this is the book I'm currently reading by Josh Winning. It's actually pretty good, and it's kind of like very focused on like Labyrinth, Dark Crystal. It's basically the story of a son who's after his father's death. He's a famous film director who made a very Labyrinth, Dark Crystal puppet-like movie in the 80s and kind of had a cult celebrity around him. And then it turns out that, you know, they're real, and he kind of explores that fantasy world. So I do recommend The Shadow Glass if you like those 80s movies, and it's got like excerpts from the script and interviews and all that kind of stuff. So it's like a lot of awesome world building going on there. This I got as a gift from our Secret Santa at work, which is awesome. And then these two I picked up from Planet Books. So I haven't been to Planet Books in Perth for years and years and years. It's a bit of an institution. So I had a bit of a wander around. I looked at their D&D books and their comics and all that kind of things. And these are the two things that I bought myself while I was there. So this is a collection of the Ultimate Spider-Man comics by two of my favourite creators, Jonathan Hickman and Marco Cicchetto. And this is basically a middle-aged kind of Peter Parker becoming Spider-Man for the first time, and this is set in the Ultimate Universe, not the Ultimate Universe from the 2000s, but this is kind of the second Ultimate Universe. So if you want to get into new comics, and Marvel continuity is a bit confusing, there's like a whole bunch of these, like Ultimate X-Men and all that kind of stuff, so that's a good place to start. The book at the back, Appendix N, I've seen this around a few times. This is basically the stories that inspired the creation of Dungeons and Dragons by Gary Gygax when he created Dungeons and Dragons, or co-created. So these are kind of the weird 60s, 70s kind of short stories, comics, that kind of thing. I'm not too familiar with it, but it's basically yeah, it's called Appendix N because when the first D&D book came out, the Appendix N was what listed all the influences of the world building of Dungeons and Dragons. So I think that's what it is anyway. So I'm pretty excited to read into that, of this very unique piece of Dungeons and Dragons lore. So there are some of the books that I picked up in 2025. EB Games have had a few sales over the years. I always have a look for board games, that kind of thing, but I'm always on the lookout for dice. Their D&D and action figure selection has been expanding over the last few years, but yes, I'm always after dice. So I think these were $3 each, down from I think like $20 or something. Like, so these I got a few of these in green and blue, not bad dice, and these were half price. I just grabbed these a couple of days ago. So this is the full set of 7 as well that you would use for D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and other games. So yes, I picked up 4 sets for $10. They were $2.50 each. So I got a blue one, a couple of reds, and a orange, which looks very delicious actually. But yes, definitely don't need it. So yes, and I also just like the containers, because I'm always carrying D&D stuff or giving dice away as prizes or gifts, so always happy to have dice. Speaking of which, also got this from BB Games. This is a D20, so a 20-sided dice, the most common type that you would use in Dungeons and Dragons of the Hellfire Club, so the Stranger Things D&D group. So yes, it's a stress ball, but you could definitely use it as a dice as well, probably. I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily weighted or whatever, but let's see if I can pull this out. And yeah, it's pretty cool, so you can use that as a dice if you would like. Let's give it a go. So I also picked up a Dungeons & Dragons liquid thing, just a drink cup, which is pretty cool, nice and sturdy. And at the back you'll see the Stranger Things pillow, which I'll just throw on my couch. Again, this was, I think originally it was like $29 or something, but I can't remember how much I got it for, but it certainly wasn't that. In the back, I believe I got this from Pop Culture, sticking with the D&D theme. This is just a magnet set of various magical items that are in D&D, so that's pretty fun. And it comes in a little pouch as well. So I've just got a little, comes with a little booklet. And yeah, it's like a whole bunch of magnets that you could probably do something with in the game. You know, like stick it on your fridge or whatever, and give them to players. But yes, all manner of little magical items, which is awesome. And finally, this is a replica of the original die set when D&D first debuted over 50 years ago. So yes, they're actually pretty cool. I like to use these on occasion, and you'll see they come with a little like crayon to kind of fill in the numbers, because that's what the original ones did. So these are made of a lot better quality than the original dice were made. But yes, you can see it's got the original box art there as well from the original set 50 years ago. So pretty happy to have this kind of replica die set. But yes, so speaking of sales on all manner of things, there's just some of the D&D related stuff I've picked up in December, and you know, a bit earlier. I run a monthly D&D game at the City of Perth Library, and a couple of the players were kind enough to give me a couple of presents for helping them run the games, which I'm very happy to be a Dungeon Master any opportunity I get. So one of the presents was this wonderful 3D printed dice tower, which is Lord of the Rings focused, and it's printed in this wonderful kind of shiny resin. I don't know, I'm not a 3D printer guy, but yeah, just look at that. It's very pearlescent and very detailed, as you can see there, and it comes with the kind of elven inscription or whatever. So the idea with the dice tower is you put the dice in the top of the tower there, and then it rolls out to the bottom, and you can see what it says. So basically it's just another way of having fun and rolling the dice. And at the back is the brand new starter set, the Heroes of the Borderlands, which is very chunky. It's twice, probably more than twice the size and twice the price of the usual starter sets, and they are made for beginner players, and it's pretty awesome. There's so much stuff in there, just maps and booklets, adventures, character sheets. It's worth a video on its own, honestly. It's only just come out. There's also a Stranger Things one, which I might get at some point, so those two are gifts, which is lovely. I also got this from one of my wonderful friends at work, which is the monster cards for Dungeons and Dragons. So a whole bunch of monster cards, which Dungeon Masters always use, with a picture on one side and just stats on the other side. So these are very handy for Dungeon Masters when creating monsters and stuff. So that's the Mordenkainen's Tomb of Foes, and a whole bunch of cards in there. And also from the same person I got this wonderful Dragon Delves, also fairly new, and that's basically a whole bunch of dragon centered adventures that you can run quite short with some wonderful art and everything. So that's awesome. I picked up this. This is Boons and Bane. So this is a guidebook from the YouTuber Ginny D. I can't remember where I found this, but I did find it in one of the bookshops that I go to. Again, this is kind of a quest generator, and also you can use it as a boon, something to help your players, or as a bane, a bad thing to give them. So all these cards have a description of like the spells and the effects in these actual books, and yeah, they're really written quite well, so I look forward to using this in my adventures in the future. Lastly, not a gift, but I bought a bunch of books from, I think this is possibleworlds.com, and they are a small American run company, and they focus on tabletop role-playing games for either solo or, you know, 1 or 2 players or more. So here is kind of another prompt generator. This is the second edition of this, Adventure Hooks by Tyler Crumring. And yes, basically it's kind of like a short story generator, or you can roll and some of that stuff can happen to your players, but it's just a creative prompt, I guess. Beak, Feather and Bone, which looks awesome. I just love the aesthetics of this. And again, it's kind of like a city building, colouring in kind of thing. I'm not sure, but it looks awesome. It's had great reviews. And similarly, this, which is the Details of Our Escape, which is a dominoes kind of focused game, and it looks pretty awesome as well. So I just grabbed these because they've had great reviews, and I'm always interested in giving other shots to other games other than Dungeons and Dragons. So a couple of gifts here, and yeah, a bunch of new stuff to explore the tabletop role-playing game space. I've been on a bit of a roll with JB Hi-Fi lately, so I'm not going to open and review all of these action figures, but these is the stuff that I've picked up from JB my last couple of visits. So at the back we've got an awesome Hasbro Autobot Sea Spray, and that's on the retro card. I actually mentioned that I was looking for that in my JB Hi-Fi Christmas catalogue flick through a couple of videos ago, which is great. We've got a classic 80s inspired Joker, a cover recreation of Green Lantern, which I'm very excited to get, and these are from the Wonder Twins, the Super Friends 70s 80s cartoon. So I managed to get both Jan and Zana, or is it Zan and Jana, one of those, including the Platinum Edition, which is awesome, and with the monkey Gleek. So very happy to get all of these, and those videos will be coming in the new year. And finally, got to finish one year and start the other with a new calendar. So my current calendar is a classic Star Wars one, but this is a 2026 calendar, which is a reissue of the 1976 calendar with readjusted dates, which is awesome to see. So this celebrates the bicentennial of America, which isn't, you know, really relevant for us, but it's got some absolutely classic artwork and some fun facts on the date pages. So yeah, absolutely awesome. So yes, 1976, the year I was born, so I thought I should get a copy of this calendar, because I'm always scribbling things on and all my social engagements and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, some absolutely fabulous artwork on this calendar. I wish there was a kind of DC equivalent, but the ones I looked weren't really as cool as this one. So this is the Marvel 2026 reissue of the 1976 calendar. So yeah, it's a nice way to end the year. So I've had a few firsts this year. I did axe throwing. That was a first. That was for our work Christmas party. I also saw my first basketball game, surprisingly enough, which is Wildcats, our local team here in Perth, and also saw my first full professional footy, Australian footy game as well. So a few firsts this year. So pretty cool. I'm looking forward to what 2026 brings. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and thank you for really supporting this channel. For those of you who like and comment, subscribe, and do all those YouTube things, it really means a lot. I'm just thankful that I can show off some of my collection and some of the new pieces that come into my collection as well. I'm very thankful It means a lot. It's a wonderful toy community here in Perth, but also I'm aware a wonderful toy community internationally. It's very heartwarming to see. I hope you have a wonderful 2026, and I hope the rest of your 2025 is just glorious and blessed, and you have some restful time as well, and just make the most of the friends and the family around you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye, geeks.